You're fine.
Good afternoon. My name is Emmett Morrissey. I'm a senior certification officer here in the city of Chicago. Just to start, the city of Chicago offers certification, which is the local program, which is the MBE, WB, and DBE. What we are going to talk about today is a certification to a federal level, which is the DBE and ACDBE certification. The department overview. The Department of Procurement Services is the contracting authority for the procurement of goods and services for the city of Chicago. We work together as a team and with our customers to guarantee an open, fair, and timely process by establishing, communicating, and enforcing superior business practices. The goals of this workshop include the benefits of certification, who qualifies for certification, the requirements for certification, the application process, the required documents for certification, and then what happens once you are certified, or once all the documents are submitted. So what we are going to talk about today is the DBE, which is a disadvantaged business enterprise, and ACDBE, which is the airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise. These are the DBE and ACDBE certification requirements. The city of Chicago is a federal grant recipient subject to the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Federal Aviation Administration. The DBE and ACDBE rules and regulations can be found under 49 CFR parts 26 and 23. The objectives of the DBE and ACDBE program are to ensure non-discrimination in the award and administration of contracts that are associated with the Department of Transportation and the Federal Aviation Administration. These contract goals also include airport concession programs. And then the reason is it's to create a level playing field on which eligible businesses can compete fairly for DOT assisted contract opportunities. The DBE and ACDBE program provides guidance for participation of DBE and ACDBE certified firms in federally funded contract opportunities. The requirements to be considered socially and economically disadvantaged. The business must be a for-profit entity. It must be a small business in which at least 51% is owned by one or more socially and economically disadvantaged persons, and whose management and operations are controlled by one or more of the socially and disadvantaged owners. This means the qualified owner must also participate in the firm and control the activities. And then the airport concessions can include businesses that provide management consulting services, goods, supplies, and advertisement services to concessions operated at an airport. These are the requirements to be considered socially disadvantaged, and the federal government considers people that are socially disadvantaged to include Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, subcontinental Asian Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, women, and other individuals who can prove that they are socially and economically disadvantaged. These people would go through a committee and it would make a determination that they meet the qualifications to be considered socially disadvantaged. In addition to being socially disadvantaged, an applicant must also be considered economically disadvantaged, and the federal government has a personal net worth limitation on firms applying for and that are certified that their net worth must not exceed 1.32 million. In addition to the personal net worth limitation, there's a requirement that indicates that the business must be considered a small business. And for the DBE size standard, it's the 5-year average. The gross receipts must not exceed the SBA size limit for that firm's primary line of business, or the 3-year average maximum cannot exceed 30.4 million for FHWA and FTA assisted contracts. For ACDBE, the 5-year average gross receipts must not exceed 56.2 million for the majority of businesses. However, there's a certain exception for a number of industries, and the size limit is 75.23 million for car rental firms, $1 billion in assets for banks, 1,500 employees for phone company industries, and 350 employees for an automobile dealer. The application process. The following steps must be completed before your firm can be considered certified with the City of Chicago for DBE and ACDBE certification. The application should be submitted online at chicago.mwdbe.com. The application must include all the required and supporting documentation associated with your firm. Hard copies are no longer accepted, and the documents will be on the online application, and it will indicate which documents are required and how to upload them. And then the federal government also includes an on-site inspection and an interview. These are the documents that you will be required to provide through a DBE and ACDBE application. Evidence of citizenship or legal residency, proof of the equity contribution used to establish the firm. Business documentations will be required for whatever type of firm, for-profit firm you own. If you're a sole proprietorship, you should include an assumed name certificate if applicable. It's a partnership, copies of the partnership agreement and the assumed name certificate, if applicable. If you're a limited liability company, copies of the original and amended administrative agreements. If you are a corporation, copies of the articles of incorporation and bylaws should be provided. Additional documentation we will need for your application is copies of W-2s and 1099 forms for your current and previous 2 years of the owner. 5 years of signed U.S. corporate tax returns and individual tax returns with all schedules and attachments. Financial statements, if available, that include balance sheets, assets and liability statements, and income statements and expense statements. The on-site interview and review. The federal regulations require that the City of Chicago performs an on-site visit to the offices of the firm seeking DBE and ACDBE certification. The site visit report of the applicant could be requested by other agencies if you submit interstate applications to other states. And then depending on the circumstances, a firm may or may not be notified when an on-site visit will be conducted. The majority of on-site inspections are scheduled. If there's any red flags, it could be without notice of the interview and site inspection. Factors that certification officers will use to either approve or deny an application includes ownership. The socially and economically disadvantaged ownership must be the person controlling and operating the business. Disadvantaged, the disadvantaged owner cannot have net worth that exceeds the limit. Another reason for denial is if your firm exceeds the gross receipts limitations. If your firm owners have a net worth above 1.32 million, the certification officers will review your information and your personal net worth form that you submit and analyze it to determine if it's correct and accurate. We'll use your tax returns to verify the documentation that you put on the net worth statement. The business must be independent. It cannot be controlled by another firm. It cannot be controlled by a non-qualified individual. And then the burden of proof is on the applicant to show that they should be certified as a DBE or ACDBE firm. Once you are certified, to maintain your certification and remain in good standing, you must submit an annual no change affidavit. Once you are certified, you remain certified as long as you comply with the rules and regulations of the program. If there's any material changes involving ownership, business size, personal net worth, you must report this to the city of Chicago within 30 days of a change occurring. Annual NCAs and material changes should be submitted at chicago.mwdb.com. This is where you would apply for certification and submit your annual change affidavits. The benefits of DB and ACDB certification. There's no application fee for the federal program. Certification as a DBE and ACDB provides opportunities for participation in US DOT and FAA federally funded contracts with the city of Chicago, the Illinois Department of Transportation, the Chicago Transit Authority, Metro, and PACE. We have a relationship with a number of agencies that can provide assistance to DBE firms. These assist agencies provide various services to small businesses. And the city of Chicago's DB and ACDB program demonstrates the city's continued commitment to the success of minority and women-owned business. The goal of the certification application program is 90 days once all of the documentation has been provided. The more thorough an application that someone submits, the quicker it's going to be reviewed, and the process can be significantly shorter if it's a thorough application with all the required documents. Once you are certified, we provide a one-stop certification as a DBE and ACDB. Your certification is accepted by the Illinois Department of Transportation, Metro, PACE, and the Chicago Transit Authority. You can sign up for DPS and DLA alerts for contracting opportunities with the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago has sister agencies that have contracting opportunities with certified firms. We provide a list of agencies that provide assistance to DBE firms. Sister agencies provide services to assist in business development. Thank you for your opportunity to present to this group. I'm available to answer any questions or clarify any items that people have. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Emmett. If there are any questions, this is your opportunity now to put it in the Q&A panel. The Q&A panel is in your far right-hand corner of the bottom of your screen. You should see Q&A there. If you do not, click on the three dots and a menu will arrive. You can click on Q&A and then a dialog box will come. Go ahead and put your questions in, press the enter key, and you will get the question to us. I have also put in the chat area. I have also put in that area different places where you can find information and resources that can help you if you're looking for the workshops, the buying plan, and or archive copies of our workshops that we have here. Um, I also wanted to say that for those of you, I'm just trying to give a few extra minutes for people to write in their questions. So, for those of you that are looking for information that was distributed at the construction summit, that information can now be found online at chicago.gov/2024 summit. Again, that's chicago.gov/2024 summit. You can find information there for that as well. We have two questions. The first question is, are there any restrictions in terms of how long your company must be in business before certification?
Not a time requirement to apply for certification. A startup business can apply for certification that have yet to have any revenue or participating contracts. You could have been in business for decades and realized about the program as well and apply for certification. So a short answer is there is not a requirement. Um, it's just important to say, like, if you're a sole proprietor, you can apply for certification as a sole proprietor. If you're a corporation, you can apply for certification as a corporation, a newly established corporation. Um, one of the requirements also, which I may not have mentioned, um, certification, firms that are applying for certification would be City of Chicago for DB and ACDBE certification must be located in Illinois. Um, the City of Chicago accepts interstate applications from firms that are certified in their home state, and you can submit an interstate DBE or ACDBE application if you're already certified in your home state. But for a new application, the firm must be located in the state of Illinois.
Perfect. And while you're still there, the second question is, can the city of Chicago expedite the ACDBE if I am already a DBE or a WBE certified?
Right, so there's not an expedited process. However, if your firm is certified by the city of Chicago as a WBE firm, it's generally a swifter process because you've already been vetted by the city of Chicago and just reviewing a couple of new documents. If you're already certified as a DBE firm with someone else, in the state, you should not be coming to the city of Chicago for PB certification. So if you're certified by Metra, PACE, IDOT, you should be, the city of Chicago accepts their certification for contracts with DB, but there would be no reason to apply for the city of Chicago if you're already DB certified with another agency in the state of Illinois.
All right. And do you have to get ACDBE certified when you renew your DBE, or can you get ACDBE added?
Right. So if you're applying for certification as a new firm, um, it's you should apply for DB and HCB at the same time. However, certain businesses may not qualify for ACDB certification. You would have to demonstrate how your services relate to airport concessions and how you're servicing airport concessions. But not all business types would qualify for ACDB certification. Um, let's say, for example, you're currently certified as a DBE or ACDB firm. You can seek an expansion to have the other one added to your certification at any time. For example, if you're DB certified, you can submit the expansion seeking ACDB certification. At that point, you just have to provide a written statement on how your services relate to airport concessions and upload any contracts if you have those as well.
Are there any additional questions? Feel free to put them in the Q&A panel if you have any questions. If not, we will be ending this session. I'm going to give a few extra minutes for you to think to see if there's any additional questions that you might have. And let me just say in closing, as you close out of this particular session, you will see a post survey. I'm looking for information on how we can make these workshops or give you information that you're looking for. And if you find that there's some information that you feel that you need to move your business forward, that is your opportunity to share your voice and let me hear what you need so that I can put in the programming a lot of what the audience is looking for, more or less than what we want to give you. So feel free to fill out the survey at the end, and it automatically pops up as you close out. There is one additional question. I need the ACDBE certification buy when I buy a construction low voltage communications company. Do you just need the customer contract as proof that the customer requires the ACDBE certification for low voltage work? W- We can't hear you somehow, Emmett.
Now,
Okay, yeah.
I, it might be best to send me an email or give me a call directly. I don't exactly understand that question. Um, if
So
you
you so you can uh, uh, do me a favor, Emmett. Go ahead in the chat area and put your email address in there so that person can contact you. And you will have their Emmett's email, and then he can respond directly to you.
I
Are
give you my
there
phone number too.
okay?
You can call me. I'll
Perfect.
be at my desk in a couple minutes. If you want to call me and you can walk me through like your specific questions. However, I don't exactly understand that question. So I put my phone number in there. It's 312-744-2025. I'm more than happy to uh, answer your specific question.
Perfect. All righty then. Let me see. Give me just one more second because I might have one more question. No. All righty. Let me just say thank you to Emmett Morrissey for giving us that great presentation on the ABCs of DBE and ACDBE. I want to thank the participants because we know that you're taking time out of your busy schedule to attend these workshops. And again, we want to give you information that you feel that can move your company to the next level or to be able to work with us at the city of Chicago. So feel free to take the post survey, and then if you're looking for information that we displayed at the construction summit this past February, feel free to go to chicago.gov backslash um, uh, or forward slash, I guess I should say, forward slash the 2024 summit. I will put that in the chat area as well. And we want you all to have a great rest of your day. And if you have any additional questions for Emmett, his email is there or his phone number is there. Feel free to reach out. Thank you so much, Emmett. Thank you, participants, and we'll see you at the next workshop.